On the night of January 13, 2012, the Costa Concordia, a massive cruise liner carrying over 4,000 passengers and crew, struck an underwater reef off the coast of Italy, causing it to capsize. What began as a dream vacation quickly turned into a desperate fight for survival. But how did a ship equipped with advanced technology and an experienced crew meet such a tragic fate? What decisions led to this catastrophe, and what secrets did the investigation uncover? Stay with us as we unravel the chilling story of the Costa Concordia, a disaster that left the world reeling and exposed glaring flaws in maritime safety. A majestic voyage begins. The Costa Concordia, a floating palace with 13 decks of luxury, set sail from the bustling port of Civitavecchia, Italy, on January 13, 2012. Designed to offer an opulent experience, the cruise liner featured amenities that rivaled five-star resorts: swimming pools, a lavish spa, gourmet restaurants, and theaters showcasing world-class entertainment. For the 4,229 passengers and crew on board, it promised an unforgettable Mediterranean journey. As the ship glided across calm waters, passengers marveled at the elegance of their surroundings. Families gathered for fine dining, couples strolled along the deck under the glow of twinkling lights, and photographers captured the serene beauty of the open sea. Excitement buzzed in the air as the Costa Concordia approached its first destination, the picturesque island of Giglio, a charming locale known for its quaint harbor and vibrant local culture. Commanding this grand vessel was Captain Francesco Schettino, a seasoned mariner with decades of experience. Despite his credentials, Schettino had developed a reputation for taking unnecessary risks to enhance his reputation. That evening, he devised an audacious plan to perform a salute maneuver, steering the colossal ship unnervingly close to Giglio's coastline. This move, meant to wow passengers and greet island residents, was part of an unofficial tradition among some cruise captains. Schettino believed his bold gesture would showcase his skill and charm, reinforcing his status as a charismatic leader. As the ship's towering lights came into view, island residents gathered along the shoreline, excitedly anticipating the spectacle. However, beneath the glamour and showmanship, there were glaring risks. The Costa Concordia was a massive vessel, over 950 feet long and weighing 114,000 tons. Maneuvering such a ship in shallow, rocky waters was no small feat, even for an experienced captain. The navigation charts clearly marked hazardous underwater reefs near Giglio, but Schettino pressed on, dismissing concerns from his officers. Unbeknownst to the passengers enjoying the evening's entertainment or dining on exquisite cuisine, the ship's course placed them perilously close to disaster. With every nautical mile, the risks of the unauthorized maneuver grew, as did the potential for catastrophe. Disaster strikes. At approximately 9:45 p.m., the unthinkable happened. The Costa Concordia struck on a massive, underwater rock formation known locally as La Scole. The impact tore a devastating 160-foot gash along the ship's hull, exposing it to the relentless force of the sea. Within moments, water began flooding the engine room, disabling the ship's propulsion systems and causing a catastrophic power outage. The once vibrant cruise liner was plunged into darkness, leaving passengers disoriented and frightened. Initially, many passengers believed the loud jolt and shuddering vibrations were the result of a minor mechanical issue. Dining rooms paused momentarily as glasses rattled, and the evening's entertainment acts halted mid-performance. Over the ship's intercom, announcements reassured passengers that the situation was under control, advising them to remain calm and stay in their cabins. But as minutes passed, reality began to set in. The ship's severe list, its tilt to one side, grew more pronounced. Furniture slid across floors, dishes shattered, and passengers clutched at walls for stability. Meanwhile, the ominous sound of rushing water echoed through the lower decks, contradicting the reassurances from the crew. Fear turned to panic as passengers scrambled to understand the gravity of the situation. On the bridge, chaos unfolded. Alarms blared, and the crew frantically tried to assess the damage. Captain Francesco Schettino, visibly shaken, struggled to make decisive orders. His earlier confidence seemed to waver in the face of mounting disaster. Vital minutes ticked by as the crew debated the severity of the damage and whether to issue an evacuation order. When the decision to abandon ship finally came, it was far too late for an orderly evacuation. The Costa Concordia had listed so severely to its starboard side that many lifeboats became unusable, stuck in their davits or hanging precariously over the water. Passengers and crew alike faced a harrowing dilemma. Wait on the tilting decks for rescue or risk plunging into the freezing January waters below. Amid the chaos, stories of bravery and confusion emerged. Some crew members worked tirelessly to calm passengers and assist with lifeboats, while others abandoned their posts, overwhelmed by fear. Captain Schettino, whose actions during these critical moments would later draw widespread condemnation, reportedly delayed issuing clear evacuation orders and was seen leaving the ship before all passengers had been rescued. As the Costa Concordia continued to tip and sink, desperation gripped those still on board. Families clung to one another. Strangers formed human chains to navigate the slanting decks, and others made life-or-death leaps into the cold, dark sea. The luxurious cruise liner, once a symbol of opulence and adventure, had become a nightmare, claiming 32 lives in the hours that followed. The captain's controversial escape. In a shocking turn of events, Captain Schettino abandoned the ship long before all passengers were evacuated, leaving his crew and the Italian Coast Guard to manage the growing crisis. A now infamous recording captured the Coast Guard berating Schettino, ordering him to get back on board and fulfill his duty. The evacuation dragged on through the night, with passengers and crew clinging to hope amidst freezing waters and darkness. Nearby residents of Giglio played a heroic role, opening their homes and providing aid to survivors. Despite their efforts, the disaster claimed 32 lives, and the ship remained partially submerged off the island's coast, a grim monument to the tragedy. The aftermath of the Costa Concordia disaster was marked by outrage and demands for accountability. Investigators found multiple safety violations, including inadequate emergency drills and Schettino's reckless decision-making. In the years following the tragedy, the ship was painstakingly salvaged in a billion-dollar operation that captivated the world. The wreckage was towed away, but the scars on maritime safety regulations ran deep. Captain Schettino was convicted of manslaughter and sentenced to 16 years in prison. But debates over his responsibility and the broader failures of the shipping company continue to this day. The Costa Concordia disaster stands as a stark reminder of the catastrophic consequences of negligence and overconfidence at sea. While 32 lives were tragically lost, their memory drives ongoing improvements in maritime safety. What do you think about this tragedy? Could stricter oversight have prevented it? Share your thoughts below. If this story gripped you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more real-life maritime mysteries and tales of triumph and tragedy from the sea.